our military's been pretty active over here, just to the north of our location. They had their thugs out. What an appropriate name for a military aircraft, right? Thug 11, right? And this was, I think, yeah, this was 2 days ago when they were out there. But they've been out. They were out there again today. They were out there yesterday. There's the Sentry that was up doing its sensing. Yeah, there's an NA Stratotanker, Dynasty 11. Maybe it's Density. I don't know. Some of these names they choose. I think Thug is the most appropriate, though, really. And of course, we had a mapper just to the north over there, too. That was on the 29th. Sentry just kept doing its loops. There's an interesting one that was a Sikorsky as a private owner. It says private owner. Thought that was kind of interesting. The profile's talking about it's a Black Hawk. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Janet. There was a Janet out there. And this was on the 29th as well. And this interesting pattern that it had on there, the Beach King, Super King Air. A lot of that I think is weather modification. And I think that's what a lot of this, had to, that's what I think anyway. Again, this was on the 29th. They had Pico 13 out there, Pegasus. National Nuclear Security was out there doing loops, taking data. That was yesterday. Yeah, and all these ones here were from yesterday. Kozo 61, I'm not sure what that was because it had a NA for aircraft type and everything was up at 27,000 feet. And that's just on the other side of the hills. See, we're over here, and this is off in California, but we just had that wildfire situation right over in here. So, yeah, the Bird Springs wildfire, supposedly caused by somebody target shooting. This was kind of interesting, too. Scaled 281 Proteus. NA that was over there doing loops off over by Ridgecrest, just on the other side of Ridgecrest in California there. So I think that's kind of curious. Anyway, it looked like maybe there might have been a couple of folks over there training maybe for an air show or something too. This was an interesting little flip on that one too. Interesting paint job. If that's actually what it was, I don't know. I can't see all the way over to there on the other side of the valley, but Flight Tracker was tracking them. And then we had Army. Army came out here and was doing loops and stuff along the hills. And of course, Janet's. I was tracking Janet's. I do have a couple Janet videos. And Ray 46, I've seen this one out here before. And this was one that was over here doing loops to the north a couple of weeks ago. And of course, Thug 31 out once again yesterday. Actually, it's, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, this was earlier. So yeah, they've been busy anyway. Up to the north, Thug 61, Globemaster 3, moving down to the south. And now this is kind of curious here, folks, because this was today, and Southern Utah University has a very active and very robust weather modification program. They've been seeding these hills for the ski seasons for quite a while, and they have all of these university young, impressionable, scientific minds, right? All in on this stuff, and these little drones and things that they send out here doing these loops. It's kind of curious the location where they're at up here in Southern Utah. The Southern Utah University, like I said, because I'm repetitive, I'll say it again, has a very robust, long-standing weather modification program. Okay, just saying. And they've had these little copters and these little Robinsons up here doing loops, going back and forth, right? Well, when I took a look at the weather radar up in that area, and there's something kind of interesting going on off to the coast too, off to the west coast as well. But we look at, I mean, what do you see right here? This is right in this area right here, up by St. George, Cedar City, Southern Utah area, right up in there is where these little copters, all these little copters, and there were dozens of them up yesterday, and there's a bunch of them that have been up there again today, just going back and forth, doing loops. And then you got the military as well that's been doing loops and things out here as well. So it's kind of curious to see on the flight tracker radar what's popping up. Oh, that's right. There was Slam 95 that came into the valley earlier today too. Yeah, I don't trust them. They're definitely up to something as far as I'm concerned. And this was another one. X was here again. Thug 21. That was Thug 21. The other one was Thug 31. I just don't trust them when it comes into this type of stuff back and forth like this. This to me looks a little bit like it could be, something to do with some kind of weather modification. Because you see this right along that whole ridge right there, right where all of these clouds are popping up. And all of those clouds, those are feeding that other system out there as well. Oh yeah, that's right. There was a little bit of video footage from this morning too, from the flight tracker radar, showing X out there, the north end of the valley. I don't know. It's interesting to me that where all those little copters are lining up right there is Cedar City, there's St. George, And it's right out here in this area and in this area up here where the Southern Utah University has had their little copters up there. And, when you see the way that it has progressed and the way it's shooting off all of that gunk off towards the east of our location, it's just fueling that whole system that's moving to the east that's wreaking so much havoc. And now this was kind of weird. I don't know what to say about what's going on there. I mean, obviously, it's got something to do with this little island right there, Isla Guadalupe. Like, look at the swirls coming off of that. I thought that was kind of curious. And then, of course, you can clearly see there's some really interesting energies being beamed out here off the west coast and out off into the Pacific. That is, and then what is that? What exactly are those? What is that? What's going on there, really? Because that doesn't look normal. That doesn't look natural. I mean, if you can see there, it's kind of lined up. There's several spots there where it looks like cloud bombs or something going off right there, just off of the coast. This is just off of the west coast, right out in this area here. And you got the weird spirally things going on. I mean, there's definitely something going on here with weather modification. No doubt about it. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that all of this that is going on is being influenced. And then when I see stuff like this on the weather radar, and where at the same time I'm tracking what looks like these perpetual loops and things going on with military aircraft and Southern Utah University, who has a very robust uh, cloud seeding program and weather modification program. I mean, you can see it's right along the same path. There's Cedar City right there. It's right along the same path where all of this stuff is popping up and it's fueling and feeding these storms to the east. So I I don't know. Myself personally, I don't really trust the military. I really don't, especially now when we're so heavily involved with NATO and we're, going around doing some of the things that we're doing around the world. Yeah, I don't know. This was the army that was over there earlier too, doing loops around the hills to the west of our location. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them if they were completely and totally influencing every weather pattern around the globe now. Every country is attempting to own their own weather by 2025, I swear. But anyway, I wanted to share that with y'all because I thought that was kind of curious. You got Southern Utah University with their little remote birds out here doing loops and out, probably most likely injecting more chemicals into the atmosphere, which is feeding the system that's moving to the east. It's just it's sad how they can continue to get away with all this shit. Oh yeah, this was the time lapse from the other night too, looking up towards Polaris, and I don't know. It's interesting when I extract the frame from this, you can see how most of it is dark. And I mean, you can see lights, but when I extract the frame from that and I brighten it up, a lot more lights pop out. You really see a lot more lights popping out, and you see a lot off in here that wasn't visible without, brightening it up. And I just think it's curious because this brighter light right here, this line is supposed to be Polaris, which is supposed to be like our North Pole star, right? But what is all of this here? What's this right down in near the center of it? Isn't that where Polaris is supposed to be? You know, just seems like it's off maybe a little bit or something. But it's I don't know. It's so hard to tell, and we won't never know. We just have to take people's words for what all of these lights are in the sky. Whatever they are, they're fascinating and most definitely fascinating. But I don't know. Just stay mindful, folks, because I think they're going to need a bigger distraction. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Metro was over here the other day too. Yesterday,
Right over.
they were just
Oh,
hovering.
hovering right over the park, it looks like.
It looked like maybe they
Cinnamon
were
Ridge
back
area.
over the Cinnamon
And they
Ridge
put the
area
boot loop
again,
down.
or SWAT had done that little thing. Oh, look at the line in the. You see the line?
Cinnamon Ridge
There's like a
area.
distortion line right in here.
And they put the
See
boot
it right
loops
there?
on.
Wonder what that's about. That's kind of interesting. Hang on, let me back that up
Cinnamon
again.
Ridge area. And they put the boot
Yeah, see it right here. There's like a distortion line in the recording.
loops on.
Yeah, right there. Runs right along there and it goes through to the sky too. So something was interfering with my recording. I mean, of course, I'm recording Metro, right?
Yeah, they're back over Cinnamon Ridge area.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always entertaining when they come over, but also intimidating and it's a little bit unsettling. Yeah, you can see the distortion is still there. See it on the roof line. Right, right in there. Let me back it up just a little bit. That's interesting. Little distortion line. Yeah, right here you can see where the is level line. Yeah, never noticed that before. Like a distortion line through my camera.
Oh,
Yep, there was bloop blooping.
going.
How about that? Stay safe and mindful, folks, because they're going to need another really big distraction to get past all of this stuff going on. I just, I gotta believe it's all by design and it's all just gonna come out according to their plan anyway. So just don't let all of this stuff going on with the politics
Mm,
trigger you for real.
special.
Yeah, they end up riding off into the sunset once again. But yeah, that distortion line's pretty curious. I never noticed that before. Yeah, right in there.
How about that?
Hmm. Anyway, military's practicing for something out here, folks. And Southern Utah University is running their programs like they always do. Yeah, look out for the thugs. Look out for thugs. It couldn't be any more appropriate. Yeah, look at the line here too. There's one more view of there's a Janet playing a Beach King running that interesting pattern like that too. So yeah, look out for the thugs.